48-year-old ex-taxi driver Mark Cookson from Enfield in North London was looking for a change of scenery when he came to Koh Samui 3 years ago. Marital problems and bankruptcy had left Mark feeling that there was nothing for him in Britain.
Left an ex-wife and 2 children. She ran off with her boyfriend, and it was a lot harder for me to get the children back on a Sunday than it was not to see them. So now I'm 6,000 miles away, and it's a lot easier for me to cope with that.
3 years on, Mark is happy and settled with his 30-year-old Thai wife Christy, who he met in Bangkok.
What you want to buy, you can buy here very cheap. This one, 10 baht.
I came to Thailand with £1,500 and walked into a bar and started talking to Christy, and basically said she was in Bangkok on holiday.
But after 5 days of a full sexual relationship, Christy dropped the bombshell that she had in fact been born a man.
I tell Mark, yeah, I'm a man. Mark surprised. Mark cried.
I found out and had a heart attack. And I told Christy she had to go, and I didn't want to see her anymore, and I thought, what the hell have I done? And then a couple of days later I bumped into Christy again, and we were talking, we went to have something to eat, and I thought, well, what the hell, you know? I'm in Thailand, and I was happy for that 5 days, and that was 3 years ago. Now it isn't, not a problem at all. Didn't tell anybody for a long time. And then one guy came that was a friend of my brother. He actually told my sister-in-law. She told my mother. And my mother asked me, is Christy one of those lady men? And I said, yes, she is. Then she said to me, does that mean you're a pufta? And I said, well, no, her body's exactly the same as yours now. I said, but I suppose, she's a man, so one of us must be gay, but it's not me. And then she told me she had cancer about 2 days later and died. So I wish I'd never told her.
During those 3 years, Mark and Christy have built up Koh Samui's most popular transsexual cabaret bar, where every dancer was once a man.
So I built a stage in a bar, and I've got some of the lady boys that actually live on the island. I got a couple from Bangkok with Christy's friends, and we put a little show together, and it's just snowballed from there.
Men from all over the world regularly descend upon Thailand to have their bodies transformed. One of Thailand's most reputable surgeons in this field is Dr. Preecha Tiwa Channan at Bangkok's Bum Run Grad Hospital. He's a specialist who's carried out over 1,000 sex change operations over the last 20 years.
Like to come to Thailand. Number one, they saw the patient from Thailand. They see that they got a good result. The patient can leave the hospital after about 5 days, and they need another 6 weeks to recuperate. After operation, they just look at the mirror. They look every day, they clean up every day, they look at themselves, they're very happy. All the patients, they're very happy with the operation.
And Christy, who had her operation 8 years ago, is no exception to that.
First, when I wake up in the hospital, I'm crying, I'm very crying because I'm so happy that I'm ready, 100%.
Business is so good at Christy's bar, they're hoping to expand, and Mark has been given an offer he can't refuse.
The guy who owns the band actually came to me because Christie's is a big name on Koh Samui, everybody knows it. Wants me to come on this plot of land to build a cabaret, but a much bigger one and more elaborate than the other one, and then he can sell the rest of the land around it much easier, and he gave me a really good deal on it. It's going to be one of the biggest bars on the island. It will be one of the biggest bars outside of the club. Prime location.
It's a new bar. Kathoy bar, lady boy bar is a new coming soon, about 2 more months. We'll be there. Crazy cabaret show.
With the cabaret business going from strength to strength, Mark's clearly happy with both his business and personal life with Christy.
If I went anywhere now, if I went to live in Australia or I went back to England for a holiday, Christy would go with me, for sure. I mean, if I took Christy anywhere else in the world, nobody would know it was a man. No one would question her sexuality. And even if they did question it, I've got not one problem with it whatsoever. I mean, I've lived with it for 3 years, and to me it's all, maybe I am gay now, but in a different sort of way. Doesn't affect me in the least. You only live once. For when all the hair falls out.
Fuck up.
Gambia is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Africa. It's only the same size as the Isle of Man and has a population smaller than Liverpool. But each year, 40,000 British tourists come on package holidays, some to sunbathe, others to immerse themselves in local life. The country's poverty makes sex a cheap commodity. 40-year-old Bob West came here on a 2-week package holiday 8 years ago and decided to stay.
When I first came here, well, really, I just shagged myself stupid and there was... All I can remember about the first couple of weeks here was staying in this compound with these English lads and Bob, and all you could hear day and night was the clip-clop of high heels, in and out of rooms, doors slamming, money changing hands, and that was it. All the time. That's all it was about. Going out, getting drunk, and these women. Everybody's so poor. But of course you can get a woman here, really, for less than 25 pence. Well, we can. Or a chewing gum. Or half a packet of biscuits.
Bob's found a place to live where he works as a part-time odd job man in return for his bed and board.
Sun, sand, cheap beer. Not a bad old life, is it really?
Bob's something of an expert when it comes to love across international boundaries. He's been married 5 times to women from 5 different countries.
The best one, really, was the English one. This girl was for the it was a show family, you know, from the fairgrounds, and it was like a mafia wedding, and everybody kept coming up to me and giving me envelopes full of money. So I suppose that was one of the better ones. This one in the Gambia, when I married the Senegalese, that was a bit of a laugh. I think I actually became a Muslim, according to them. But I mean, in my mind, I wasn't a Muslim, but I like did it for them. It was like just, you know, get dressed up with all my hat on and all my Muslim gear, and you know, I mean, I felt such a fool, really. When I got married in the Philippines, and I only did that for money. I got out of it. I got a free holiday in the Philippines, a trip to Hong Kong, and I think I got £500 spending money as well. Well, the one I met in Spain, the Dutch one, I can't remember anything about her. She actually was nice looking. The Thai one, that was a proper wedding, because I was going to take her back to England. And in the end, there was so many reasons I couldn't take her back. She got a house out of it and a fridge. You know what I mean? So she didn't do too bad, really.
However, Bob's hoping that the authorities won't look too closely at his divorce record.
I'm divorced from the English girl, because I had it in my mind, really, that if you get married abroad, it don't really count. So that's it. I've only ever been divorced once, so I suppose I'm a bit of a bigger mist, really.
Bob is now heading for marriage number 6.
I'm now going out with a Liberian girl, name's Amelia. I've known her about a year, but I've actually been going out with her properly now for 9 months.
I like Bob because he's different from the other man that come to Gambia. Because you don't even look outside for another girls. I don't care, they are beautiful, they dress nice, whatsoever. Doesn't care about any one of them.
Hey, all right. You? I really think I can trust her. In fact, I'd probably trust her more than any woman I've ever met in my life. I just think I've actually been unlucky with the women I've picked, or that have picked me, really. Like the English one and the Senegalese one. They're the one that let me down both times. You know what I mean? They let me down by messing about with other men. Even the Thai one, really. I mean, I couldn't really be too sure what she were up to. Right. Go anywhere in Europe.
Amelia may be committed to Bob, but he finds he can't take marriage seriously when he's away from Britain.
It's not the real world over here. They don't take women serious. I mean, so being over here doesn't mean if you get married, you're not going to treat your wife or treat your marriage like you would behave in England.
And so Bob's decided to get married again.
I think the good thing now with me being 40, if I do get married, I mean, I've only got to live about another 20 or 30 years, haven't I? I don't think I'll be able to, do you know what I mean? And that's, so at the most I'm only going to be married that long.
Norman Strike, a remarkably apt name for a former miner, volunteered to teach in Kenya 2 years ago. It was there that the former hard man surprised himself and fell in love.
Outside, if you ask people about me, I'm this big, gruff, ex-coal mining Geordie. Some people even think I'm really hard because I've got the missing front tooth and I'm a bit rough looking. But underneath it all, I'm soft as shite, really.
Norman met Anne a year ago. They've been apart for 2 months since he came home after finishing his job. Anne plans to visit him here next week, but Norman's concerned about her travelling from Africa alone and decides to surprise her by turning up unannounced in Kenya.
Plane tickets. Oh, must remember to put my luggage labels on tomorrow. Passport. Villain of the year. If you see this man, phone Crime Watch. Not too smelly. Right, those are on for today.
After divorcing his first wife, Norman never believed he'd fall in love again. But they all say that, don't they?
Hi, that's her, Naliaka. Met her at a party and then went through a really strange kind of old-fashioned courtship. It was really nice. That's her. That's Anne. The object of my desire. This is me going to see the woman I love and bring her back to my country. That's what this is all about.
At the airport, Norman invests in the international currency of love.
Have to get some perfume before I go as a present. Exfoliants Douceur, what the hell is that? Taking hair off your legs, I think. £24. About 2,500 bob, enough to feed a family of 6 for a week. More than a week. Ah, she's worth it. Just to see her face when I get there. My mate at the pit could see me paying £25 for perfume.
Norman is willing to face adversity in the name of love.
God, I hate flying. I hate it. It terrifies me. But it'll be worth it because I'll see Anne tomorrow, and that's what it's all about. The things we do for love.
And after 8 long and turbulent hours, he's finally in the same continent as the woman who's stolen his northern heart.
Thank God that's over with. Turbulence or what? But the heat's wonderful. We're down, I'm safe, I've landed, and it's about an hour, hour and a half, taxi, and then Wafula's going to get the shock of her life. Yeah. The Chacos? Huh?
Just come here.
I want to find out how much it costs before I get in his taxi. That's too much. 3.5. No, that's too much. No, I'm going to take the cheapest man.
How much are you willing to pay? How much are you willing?
2.5.
That's good. 2.5, yes, me.
But nervous expectations taken its toll on Norman's memory.
I've left my passport and tickets, and I just hope they haven't been stolen. Typical. How could I be so stupid? Somebody's got the passport.
A taxi driver found the missing documents. He was good enough to return them to Norman, or clever enough to spot an opportunity, depending on your view of human nature.
Thank you, Santi Sana Buona. That's for all of your trouble for driving out here. You know what they say, don't you? The course of true love never runs smooth. My mum used to say that.
With his wallet lighter and his heart pounding, Norm builds up to the big surprise.
I can't wait to see her face because she's not expecting it at all. Hello, Miss Wafula.
Hello.
What do you mean, hello? Is that the best you can do?
Hello.
Were you expecting me?
No.
Well, why are you not more surprised? Are you embarrassed? Hello, nurse. Jumbo.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
And I thought you were going to come running up the path and say I was going to be sitting there waiting. Are you embarrassed?
I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised? I left my shorts here, didn't I? I've come back for them. I've had no shorts to wear, I've had to wear these.
Although there are huge cultural differences, Norman and Anne have a love of children in common. Anne is involved with the school for disabled children. She had polio at the age of 2 and is passionate about people not being held back by their disabilities.
It's not easy being disabled in Kenya. We are stigmatized. People look at us differently. Some people would look at us as outcasts, like people who are useless. I'm coming to encourage them. Something like a role model for them to look at me and say, if she made it, then we can also make it. Today we shall not talk. We shall not have our regular talks. Today I've come to say bye-bye to you. I'm going to England. You want to know what I'm going to do? Yes. I'm going to visit my boyfriend. Why did you laugh? We met at a party, and then I did not fall in love immediately, but he saw me that time. So he started writing to me, and we would meet, go out for a meal, communicate with letters before we fell in love now.
How old are you?
I'm 29. Norman is 49.
People look at you and say, gosh, look at that old man going out with that beautiful young woman. And I kind of get a bit self-conscious about that sometimes. But at the end of the day, when I'm with Anne, you know, she reassures me all I need, that age isn't an issue.
I'm comfortable with Norman because he's a mature person. He knows exactly what he wants in life. And I know he's not just playing games with me. You know, he wants a serious relationship. Yes. Tell me, have a good flight.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
One potential problem for Anne and Norman is their differing beliefs. Anne's a born-again Christian, Norman is certainly not. While she's at a farewell service in her local church, agnostic Norman prefers the religion of Andy Capp, with a pint in the local boozer.
She's teetotal. Odd couple, aren't we? There's me trying to pack in smoking, drink like a fish, and there's Anne, never smoked, never drank, and yes, we can go out to a pub together and have a great time in each other's company. I think that's brilliant.
Anne's family is hosting a farewell party for her, so she's off into town to get her hair done.
The first time Norman told me that he loved me, I thought, no, I think he's drunk. And then I told him, tell me this when you are sober. And then he told me, Anne, I'm not drunk. I'm telling you, this is what I feel. And then he fell in love with me before I fell in love with him. And like he didn't rush me. He did not rush me at all. And when I started falling in love with me, I thought, oh, am I doing the right thing? And like I put it to test so many times. I think I tried it so many times. Like, is it real? Yeah, I fell in love.
For Anne's farewell meal, Norman, who has been a vegetarian for 10 years, has been sent to buy a goat, the African way.
Okay. Do you think it's okay? You're the goat expert.
It's okay, it's okay.
Right, I don't want to look in its eyes. I don't want to see in its eyes. Okay then. Hiya, I don't want to look. I don't even want to look.
When you are born on this earth, there are some things that are written that have to take place in your life. So I think it was meant that Norman and I be together.
Farewell, goat.
Don't do that.
I can't help it.
No, you're not. It's,
Look,
it's wrong.
Anne,
It's,
Anne,
in our tradition,
Anne,
you don't do that to an animal.
One of the
Anne,
one of the things that me and you have to sort out between each other in our relationship is you're an African and I'm an Englishman, and in your culture you keep saying, in our culture we don't do that, and I have to. In our culture, we don't buy goats and shove them into boots of cars, slit their throats and cook them in our culture. So we're trying to find a balance between our two cultures, right? I can't help but being upset genuinely about the goat.
At the party, Norman finds some traditions too much to bear.
You're worrying, Norman.
It's the first time Anne's left Kenya, and she's only got Norman's word about what she'll face in Britain.
Can't believe what?
It's all right. I thought I'd lost my ticket again. Put it in here. I'm not going through that again.
When he arrived, I thought I was dreaming, but now I'm not dreaming. It's real. It's happening.
At Heathrow Airport, Anne has to pass through immigration alone, a daunting prospect for an African woman on her own. Norman is worried in case she hasn't made it.
I am starting to panic. I can't go out there, because they won't have gone out there, they'll still be here. What a bloody relief!
Oh.
Did you get through okay?
A few surprises await Anne.
Could be the sun will come out at about 10, yeah?
Yeah, 10 on the 10th of July.
No, there must be some sun, seriously.
Cold weather.
No, there's a pothole on your road. You told me there are no potholes. There's a small one there.
When they've reached Norman's home turf, a final surprise awaits her.
Listen, do you know how we always said we'd get married, but we'd wait until we got back to Kenya? I don't want to wait.
Why?
Because I want to marry you now. Not this instant, but I want to marry you as soon as we can fix it up. Why wait? So will you marry me?
Oh, no.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, I'll marry you.
Let's get back to the car before we freeze to death. I'm not romantic.
Los Angeles, home of the collagen implant and penis enlargement. Last bastion of fat-free, and stay tuned after these messages from our sponsor. It's also home to 21-year-old tattooist Shanda, who lives here with her parents. But her heart wants to take her from Hollywood to Hollyoaks, 6,000 miles away in Chester.
I'm going to England to visit my boyfriend Steve because I haven't seen him for 6 months and I really truly miss him, so I need to make this journey.
Shanda's boyfriend is Steve Perry, a 23-year-old Welsh barman who's lived in Chester for the last year. He's convinced that this love is real.
Being 6 months apart and not having, touched each other for 6 months, it's going to be weird. You have to learn things all over again, and go back through all the motions all over again. But I don't think that's much apprehension. I think it's more excitement than apprehension.
I know Steve because I met him on the internet.
They met in a chat room where they swapped tattoo stories. Although they met by chance and love was random, the intensity of their feelings grew.
Neither Shanda or I were looking for love when we met on the internet. We just happened to be in the same place at the same time one night. Kind of 1 in a million chance. There was definitely something there. You could feel there was something there. We were connecting.
We agreed so much on everything. It was just amazing. When Steve sent me a photograph, I thought, wow, what a hunk, I found the perfect guy.
After about 2 weeks, I think we phoned each other up for the first time, and that was very strange.
We just got so interested in each other and we wanted to know more and more about each other, and what we heard we liked, so I think that's when it started.
They felt compelled to meet, so 6 months ago Steve flew out to LA. Virtual love turned real and into 10 days of passion.
It was like 24/7. We went everywhere with each other. We went to bed together. We woke up together. We showered together in the morning. We didn't stop touching each other. We couldn't we had that week together. We were just draining each little second out together.
But as the song says, it was more than physical.
after I visited her, I've just started to realise I really did love her and that she really was a lot more than I expected, a lot more than I'd ever imagined. And I think then I fell in love with her.
Definitely in love with Steve. Steve's the first boyfriend I've ever been in love with, and I truly do mean it.
Shanda's bought her ticket, booked time off from her job, and has even changed her hairstyle ready for her trip to England. But she's neglected to get one thing: a passport.
Part Armenian and Polish and German. I came over when I was about 5 years old, and I've been living here for 16 years now because I'm 21 years old. And I never, thought about, getting a new passport or citizenship because I was young and I didn't really think of those things.
Shanda thought she could get a special pass issued to people travelling in exceptional circumstances, but falling in love with a Chester barman isn't deemed exceptional enough, and she's off to the British consulate to beg and see if there's anything they can do.
It's really getting to me because, I don't know, I didn't used to be so sensitive about things. I didn't really used to care, but there's something about Steve that makes me want to care. He just, I don't know, he just brings all these emotions to me. I never used to cry, now I cry.
Steve's blissfully unaware of her problems. He's finished work and is planning a night out with his mates. They're looking forward to meeting the tattooed woman from the internet, the email lover Steve's declared undying love for. In LA, Shanda's worried that her passport to passion might not be issued.
I'm feeling really nervous because this is a place where they're going to tell me if I do go to England or not, and hopefully I will.
Meanwhile, Steve arrives at the club, but his mind is somewhere in the land of low cholesterol and liposuction.
You have fun, you go out, you have a good time, get drunk, have a laugh, but at the end of the day, you're not having 100% fun because you're 6,000 miles away from the one you love. There might still be a chance. And so she was very upset on the phone then, and she was talking about how she got this letter and how she'd phoned the place up and there'd been no use to her and everything, the immigrations and passport agency. So I said, well, we can go round to the actual place, we can get an appointment, go round there, so she did that.
Following her appointment at the British consulate, Shanda is not happy.
It's all bullshit, basically. Because I went in there and I explained everything and they gave me stupid papers. They said I need to have a valid passport and I don't, so I can't even travel. So the whole trip here was for nothing, and they could have told me that on the phone, but they didn't. So I'm really angry right now, and later on I'm gonna be really sad.
Back home that evening, Shanda phones Steve to break the bad news.
Hello?
Hello?
You okay, baby?
No.
What happened?
I'm really, really pissed off. I went there, like I said, they didn't do anything, honey. They were like, oh, you're supposed to have a passport and all that. It's really shitty, babe.
It was more upsetting for her, with her already packed and looking forward to coming across. From that, maybe one of the reasons just to calm her down was I thought, well, why don't I just push forward coming across to see you?
I kind of thought he was joking, and I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? It's like, yeah, I'm serious. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I'm very happy.
It's 2 weeks later, and Steve's made a life-changing decision. He's not just going to visit Shanda for a holiday, he's going to try and make a life for himself in LA. So he's leaving his home in Chester for the last time to head for the airport. 6,000 miles away, Shanda is dolling herself up for a night out on LA town to celebrate.
I will, I'll phone you.
There are a lot of clubs in Los Angeles, about a couple thousand, There's a few that I go to which plays progressive. I like to go to those because they're pretty upbeat, and plus you get to dance like you would at a rave, like with glow sticks and everything. I think that makes it more fun.
Seeing it tomorrow, it's going to be like quite nervous. It's going to be like meeting each other for the first time again. I guess it's going to be nervous as well as exciting.
I waited 6 months for this. 6 months. 7 months, baby. 7 months.
I was working out on the way here. Absolute time.
Without further ado, they head off to Shanda's family home so Steve can check out her new tattoos.
Okay, we finally arrived.
Yep.
I'm going to spend some quality time.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
Prefer.
And have all the hugs that we missed and I missed out. Okay.
Next day, they contemplate their future.
If we did live with each other, there'd definitely be some arguments on the horizon. No, I don't mean like, splitting up arguments, I just mean like,
Yeah, so it's just, your temper, your Welsh temper.
What Welsh temper?
Get mad at a little thing.
And you're silly sometimes. You're daft.
As the couple go shopping, Steve realises that his love life is rich, but the American dream has a price tag. It's difficult when you don't have a passport to work. No green card, no luck.
I'll be looking for more jobs and stuff like that. Working on the docks or something, gutting fish, I don't care, cash in hand. We will work out a way to be with each other. We're going to be with each other for a long time. And we know actually it might be easy for us to get married in the sense of, it means I can stay in America and work, but we wouldn't do it that way because it would just take away from the romance of it, we want to get married on our own terms, we'll get married because we love each other.
If I had a chance to pick somebody to marry, it would definitely be Steve because I love him and he's very special to me.
And since the making of this film, Steve and Shanda got engaged in LA.
In 1998, Mida was 18 and living in her home country of Indonesia. Meanwhile, 34-year-old Lancashire lad Jeff landed his dream job in Indonesia as well, and their paths crossed. And Jeff was smitten. He may have been loved up, but love isn't always easy.
Traditional law prevents you going directly to the girl to say, would you like to go out on a date? It's not like in the UK. You have to get permission from her family. So we set up this date, which was, I believe, on a Thursday night. So all I had to do was arrive around about 10 o'clock.
The first time I come, I bring about 3 friends with me, because I was scared.
There were about 9 or 10 people waiting to go out on this date.
Despite the somewhat crowded dating scene, the unlikely lovers got engaged 2 years later. But Jeff had to do a damn sight more than get down on bended knee.
3 or 4 weeks after we'd proposed, her family had said to get married, you've got to become Muslim. And I'd agreed with that. I didn't think that was being a problem, changing religion. What wasn't explained was to become Muslim, you also have to be circumcised. But to take Mida's hand in marriage, it's something I had to do, and was quite willing to do that. The thought of giving up pork, which you have to do to become Muslim, was a very minor sacrifice, but the operation in itself to become circumcised was a huge sacrifice.
2 of my brothers there, I think my sister there, but I was outside the hospital.
I didn't really appreciate what was going to be involved in the operation and the extent of the way the operation was going to take place, how much pain I was going to be in, how long after the operation I would have to wear bandages, and it's like a sarong, which is a sort of dress I would have to wear. So I hadn't appreciated that too much.
We got video, we got a picture and everything.
Whether it's a delicate process or not, I didn't want to look, but all I heard was like, well, I ended up with 22 stitches and 3 weeks of agony as well as walking around in a dress.
It's a big decision, isn't it, for him? That's why I love him.
For the love of Mida, it was worth it. It was worth it, yes, definitely.
Oh, that is really funny.
But circumcision wasn't Jeff's only sacrifice in the name of love. 7 years ago, 41-year-old Jeff made the ultimate declaration of love by having a circumcision for his wife Mida, who was 15 years his junior. In the year 2000, the couple tied the knot in a traditional Indonesian ceremony in Mida's home village. For Jeff, it finally signalled the end of a purely platonic relationship. Well, almost.
And it's the first time ever that I've actually been with somebody and not physically touched them in 2 years and ended up getting married because of it. But it was actually very nice on the eve of the wedding day to sleep with Mida, being a virgin. And for her to give that up for me was something that was just incredible.
If you love me, you have to wait. If you don't love me, you can try with somebody else. Yeah, this is why we're doing it after wedding. Is that right?
Yeah, but not straight after, unfortunately.
No. We have to wait after 2 days after the wedding, aren't we?
A week.
What? Yeah.
But who was counting?
Because I'm scared.
Scared?
Because I don't know.
Jeff and Mida have since settled in Lee, a small town near Manchester, 1,000,000 miles from the remote Indonesian village where Mida grew up, and they fell in love.
The first year, I just spent all the night, every night, crying because I just want to go home. I no friend, my English not well, I'm pregnant. So then I decided go for a beauty course. It took me about 4 years since I moved here now. Yeah, I got my own business with a friend, joined with a friend.
But fully settled in the UK, our unlikely lover is looking to the future, however unlikely.
My mom used to do massage and my auntie have a salon, but I don't have a dream to open a salon in England, Manchester. We are always together. I will never ever leave him for anybody else.
It's the best decision I've ever made, was to marry her. Yeah. We are going to be together forever. There's no way would I ever leave her, and I hope she feels the same.
Yeah, I've told that before.
Good.
Oh no. Oh. We say this all the time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Glistening Productions.